The Minnesota Supreme Court heard arguments in a case involving former President Donald Trump that could have national implications.
The question they're deciding is, should his name be allowed on the 2024 ballot in Minnesota? Chief political reporter Tom Hauser is here to tell us about the unique arguments in the case. Tom.
Yeah, Kevin, Donald Trump calls the lawsuits nonsense and election interference. But a group of voters here in Minnesota and some in other states are serious about keeping him from holding federal office again for his role in what they call an insurrection.
Joan Groh et al. Versus Steve Simon, Minnesota Secretary of State.
The name of the case before the Minnesota Supreme Court doesn't include Donald Trump's name, but the case itself is about whether his name can appear on the 2024 presidential ballot in Minnesota.
Beginning before the 2020 election and culminating on January 6, 2021, Donald Trump engaged in rebellion and insurrection against the Constitution of the United States in a desperate attempt to remain in office after losing the election.
At issue is whether the riots at the Capitol on January 6th constitute an insurrection. If it was an insurrection, the petitioners trying to keep Trump off the ballot say the 14th Amendment to the Constitution would bar him from running for president again. The amendment says no person having previously taken an oath as a member of Congress or as an officer of the United States shall have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the same.
Section 3 of the 14th Amendment protects the Republic from oath-breaking insurrectionists because its framers understood that if they're allowed back into power, they will do the same or worse.
Should we do it, even if we could do it and we can do it?
Chief Justice Natalie Hudson immediately jumped in, raising the issue of possible chaos if every state decides different rules for who can be on the ballot.
Let's say you're right. Let's say we agree with you that Section 3 is self-executing and that we do have the authority under the relevant statute to keep Mr. Trump's name off the ballot. Should we?
The possibility of different states reaching different decisions is actually the way that our constitutional system is set up. For better or worse, we have...
An attorney representing Trump argues what happened January 6th wasn't an insurrection.
What happened on January 6th was crimes, some of them serious, was violence, some of it serious, but that it did not reach the scale or scope of what would be regarded as an insurrection.
And if it was not an insurrection, Trump's attorneys say the case should be dismissed. A similar case is making its way through district court in Colorado, and other suits have been filed in other states. It's possible one of these cases, maybe all of them, will end up before the U.S. Supreme Court. Kevin.
Tom Hauser reporting.